Hello, my paper peeps. Today I want to share with you a mini scrapbook journal within a mini scrapbook journal. It's actually a mini journal that you can create very easily to give away if you'd like, or in this case, to put in your already existing mini scrapbook journal that I have here. And this fits perfectly inside. So it's a mini within a mini. Now you can use any paper line. I'm just going to use the paper line from the Bloom collection. And this one, for this mini journal, all you really need are 3 pieces of 8.5 by 11 paper. And I'll show you how to create that just with these 3 pieces of paper here. Okay, so pull out your scoreboards. This is what I would call the outer cover of the mini journal. And there's 2 sides to this one. Now, if you're part of my crafting community, all you need to do is take the 8.5 printable that I have sent you via email, and you want, it says here the base of the mini album inner cover, you want it to look like this, okay? So what you want to do is you'll want to, or like I said, if you're not part of this, just grab any 8.5 by 11 or cut your 12 by 12 down to 8.5 by 11. So you want to score at 1 inch. And then again at 1 1/4 inches here. And then move along here to 7 1/4 inches. And then score at 7.5 inches. Then you want to turn this clockwise. And you'll want to score at 3 1/4 inches. And then 3 1/2 inches. Then go along at the top here and score at 7 1/2 inches. And 7 3/4 inches. I want to show you how to cut this up, but because you can barely see the lines on the camera or on the video, I'm going to actually mark it up here. You don't have to do this at home, but I have to just for video's sake here, because I can barely see it. Let's see if I can do this here. Yeah, so you don't have to obviously draw pencil lines. I'm just doing this so that you can see how I cut this up. Oops, that's not straight. Get a little bit of pressure there, Chris. There we go. Or else you're gonna go off the rails here. Oops, like that. My bad. Do you know how hard this is? I'm standing right now on a stool and trying to do this with the camera right above my face. Yeah, it's definitely not the way I would normally craft. It's always harder when you have to do this for the camera. So my bad, I apologize for that. That's not supposed to be there. Okay, at least you see what's going on here. I'm just going to erase this here because that looks absolutely atrocious. There we go. Okay, what I would normally do, because the type A in me requires that I cut this straight, and so what I would normally do is take an X-Acto knife. But because I'm standing on a stool and doing this in a very awkward way, I don't think that would be very safe. So I'm just going to take scissors just so that you get the gist of it. So what you want to do when you cut this out is you want to cut inside to inside line. So you want to cut this inside line, all the way to this inside line here. And you want to do that to all 4 corners. So inside line, and then to inside line here. Oh, no, to inside line out this way. Almost screwed up there, almost screwed up. Okay, there. And then you want to do it on this side here. So inside line. To inside line. And again here, let's turn that around, inside line. All the way to the inside line. There we go. There. Now you have this whole image here, and you don't have to worry about this right here because you will not see this at all. And then there is the outer part of the journal there. Okay, so what you want to do now is I'm going to cut off just these edges here, right here, because you don't need these. Now, if you're using your own paper, not a big deal. You can leave those on, but because obviously this is a printable, these borders do not need to be there. So I'm going to cut those off. Yeah. Okay, so that is the base of your journal. Now, next thing you want to do is at the score lines, you want to fold those over. So this is pretty much an envelope, but a little different because I wanted to give you some room to add more stuff in here. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Because again, this isn't just an envelope, this is actually a mini scrapbook in itself. Okay, so it gives you a bit of, I guess, some depth to add some of your other elements to it. Okay, the next thing we're going to do are the flaps of this album. Now, what I'm going to do is probably remove this. It says base of mini album outer cover, and then base of mini album inner cover. I'm going to remove that just because you'll actually see it when you actually put this together, and you don't want to see that. So I'm going to, if you do download this or when I email this to you, you won't know that this is the inner cover. But as you can see here, that full image is the inner cover. And then all these broken up images here is considered the outer portion of the album. But you'll figure it out. I know you will. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is cut out the flaps. And these flaps will sit right here. If you're part of this paper line, just to let you know that the lines here extend well beyond the actual measurement that the flap will sit on. And it's more of a guide rather than, it's not meant to be in the actual album. So you're actually going to cut this within the lines. The measurements will be 4 by 7. So cut whatever your cardstock you have or this printable by 4 by 7. And if you can see here, it does extend well beyond that. And so you want to cut inside these lines here, okay? Now every printer is different. My printer defaulted to 94% and I did not increase it to 100%, just to let you know. But again, like I said, every printer is different. So you're going to have to possibly fiddle around with the settings. Some have said it's been perfect too, so it really all depends. And if you're wondering what printer I use, I'll put that in the description box below. My husband did all the research for me, and he found this printer to be far superior to any printer that is out there. I just find that the printer quality is incredible. Like the images come out quite crisp. Unfortunately, it's even on video, you cannot see how crisp these images are. But anyways, I thought I'd share that with you, and I will put a link to that printer in the description box below. And what you want to do is you want to score each flap at 1 inch. Pretty much on the side that doesn't have this image here, okay? Just like that. So I guess on this side, it would be 6 inches here. There. Okay, I did all the hard part. Now I can actually come off of my stool. So now it's about assembly. Depending on what you want to do. The reason why I kept these quite simple is for a couple of reasons. One is I just like the simplicity of the image here. And you can just glue that on this here. And then glue this one on like that. Okay, so that they flap on top of one another. Because I had to do the cutting by hand, obviously it's going to be a little off, so bear with the fact that I cut that a little off. Anyways, but like I said, this won't be in the printable, so you won't see these there. And there we go. There. Now, I like the simplicity of this. Do you see how that folds over just like that? And then you also have a little bit of depth there so that you can add your 4x6 postcards in there. Like I said, this is the mini scrapbook journal that you can join us at any time. And if you're new to my channel, my name is Christine, and I love creating these DIY scrapbook journals. And as we kind of go along in this crafting journey, I love to add things to it. So if you decide to purchase the paper line, I will send you any additions that for some reason pop in my head and I end up creating, and I'll send those additions to you via email. So this is the actual journal. And it has journal cards in it, but it also has alongside tabs and stuff. It actually has journal cards, postcards. So if you want to write a note to someone and send that off, and you can send that off to someone. But I also like to add a DIY envelope to this. So stay tuned for that one. That's coming soon too. But there's also, for those of you who are already in this journey with me, forgive me that I keep going through this over and over again. But if you're just new and you're just hopping on the channel and you're like, what is this business? Well, welcome to the party. So there's also cards, journal cards with frames that you can add photos to. And I also have extra ephemera should you decide to want to add and embellish more. So there you go. So this is your flap system right here. Now you have one of two choices. You can leave it as is, glue these down here, these sides down, and then add your tags like that. Okay. Or, and this is why I wanted to leave it simple on the top here, is, or you can add like any of those postcards, and you can add it right to the top there to add more interest to those, or you can add more, depending, you can really just change it up if you want. You can add these to that as well if you want. So I wanted to give you that option. You can leave it like that, or you can just add any of those postcards or any of those journal cards to the journal. But one of the great things I love is the fact that this can be an insert within this mini scrapbook journal, and you can add cards here, or this could actually be a mini journal for a loved one that you can create and give away. Add some of your 4x6 photos in there, filed in there, or you can add, cut them down or add them to the frames if you want. Again, embellishing as much as you want. And oh gosh, this could fit probably, depending, I would say this could fit 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 journal cards, if not more, depending on how much you embellish inside. And that can be your journal like that. And then you can add any of these tags on the inside. Yeah, just filing them away on the inside for any quotes or anything that you want to add there. Now, if you're part of this crafting community and there's something that you might want to see me create just specifically for this paper line, put that in the description box below. I always want to know what you're thinking, what you'd like to see, what additions I could possibly, add to this paper line. I'm so open. I'm so open to ideas. So let me know in the description box below if there's anything you want to see. I can't guarantee I'll add it to the paper line, but you know what? You never know. It's happened before. I'd be like, oh, good idea. Let's add that. So you will not see any of this in the paper line. I just needed to do that for myself and obviously to showcase this in the video. But I bet you none of you can read that. So either way, it will not be in the paper line. There we go. So now you have some tags. There you go. You have some tags there. And then your postcards that you want to place inside. Now, I love closures. I think closures are what make the journal amazing. Now, in a situation like this, you need a closure that will hold everything together because, as it could actually pop open on you. And then make sure that you really score those edges very well. I didn't score them very well, so of course it's gonna kind of pop out like that. If they're scored well, it should kind of sit quite nicely like it does on this side here. Okay, now I will be putting out a video on how to create different closures, but I'm gonna give you a one easy hack here. You want something that's weighted so that it doesn't pop out like that. And the easiest weighted closure is this. One of these metal tabs. And this is just an index tab that I've used on so many of my journals. All I did was just add it like this, and it just becomes this weighted element to your scrapbooks. And then you can add it to your journal like this. Now, I did some amazing flowers that show you how to use pollen to add 3D elements to your scrapbook journals. I'm actually going to jazz this whole box up that you see here with those flowers. So check out that video. I'll put that at the end of this video along with how to create all this good stuff inside. So I hope you enjoyed this mini album in a mini. It's an easy interactive mini album that I think is a mini must try. I used mini a lot in that, but I hope you enjoyed this. Take care, and we'll see you in my other videos. Bye.